Hello and welcome to Algebra 2. Today is Friday, November the 13th. Our topic for today is review of factor by grouping, and we're also going to review polynomial division. Okay, we're just going to do one example of each. Let's dive into our first example. This is example 1. This is a factor by grouping, and our instructions here are to solve the polynomial. So first thing I want to do with factor by grouping is break these into two separate groups. So I've got 12x cubed plus 2x squared plus negative 30x minus 5. So we want to break into two groups. The next step is we want to take a greatest common factor out of each group. For our first group, I can take out this 2x squared, and I'm left with 6x plus 1. From this other group, I can take out a negative 5, and I'm also left with 6x. So this step was take out a greatest common factor from each group. Okay, now we're going to group the outer guys together and the inner guys together. So I get 2x squared minus 5 and 6x plus 1. It's color code. So this step was outer goes together and inner groups go together. Okay, it wants us to solve. So in order to solve, I'm going to set each of these equal to 0. I'm going to add 5 to both sides here. Divide out 2. So we have x squared equals 5 halves. To get rid of a squared, I'm going to square root both sides. Remember, when you square root both sides, we get a plus or minus. So we have plus or minus 5 halves. And then for 6x plus 1, I'm also going to set this equal to 0. Divide the 6, and we get x is negative 1, 6. So these are our three answers here. Okay, let's look at our second and final example. This will be an example of polynomial division. Make sure that you are pausing and writing the original problem. All right, I'm going to start by building a square. Okay, I have x plus 2 on the outside. This term here will always go in my first box. I can pull out an x squared. X squared times 2 is 2x squared. Now I need these diagonals to add up to negative 4. So I'm going to say 2x squared plus what is negative 4x squared. I can subtract this over, and our what is negative 6x squared. Take out a negative 6x. Negative 6x times 2 is negative 12x. I need these diagonals to add up to positive 2. So I have negative 12x plus what is 2x, 12 to both sides. So my what is 14x. We're going to go here. I can take out a 14, and then 14 times 2 is 28. We got 28, but we expected negative 3. So let's solve for our remainder. I need 28 plus my remainder to equal negative 3. Take away 28 from each side. So my remainder is negative 31. And when we write our final answer, we've got x squared minus 6x plus 14. Now our remainder minus 31 over x plus 2. And we always have to divide the remainder by the original because we had to make that remainder and it was not divided in the original problem. Alrighty guys, that's all for today. Thanks.